Hello, everyone. Hope everyone had a great Friday today. Looking forward to the weekend. We already kicked it off with a little bit of activity this afternoon. We had a fantastic day in the Discord today. I want to start out this video. We've had some questions asking about the LRC or the long LRC strategy or the long LRC that I have been using. So I'm going to briefly go over that and show it once again. I showed it a little bit in the last video, but I want to try to be a little more thorough in the way that I set it up. So I'm going to go to just going to find a clean strategy that I have, or a stock that I haven't made clear everything. So I typically, I should have already had this done. Sorry about this. I typically start out with the 1 hour, the 1 hour chart. I'm gonna get rid of everything. Boom. Okay, here we go. So this is a Breve Incorporated. Don't really trade it. Not sure why I have it in my list, but anyhow, here we go. This is what I do. I go in. First, I want to show you I use the linear regression channel. And I'm just going to draw one real quick, just a fast one. This doesn't really matter. I'm going to edit it. These are the settings. So 1 minus 1. This is 1 minus 1. This is the mean or the midline. 2 minus 2, yellow, orange. 2 minus 2. Okay. And then I made gray is my 1.5s. So minus 1.5, or plus 1.5, positive 1.5. That's how I set up the linear regression tool. And I go to a 1 hour chart first. Sometimes I'll drop down to a 30-minute. And I will move this around until I see some pivots aligning. And what you want to do is just keep moving it until you find your bottom pivots bouncing off and your mean. Your mean is very important, so pay attention to the midline. Pay attention to how it aligns with the rejections. That looks pretty good. Now you can move this around how you want. It still works, but you really want to make sure that you align it to where it is the outer line, or the outer pivots are your most important. So you want to try to align it with those, but also when you do this, pay attention to where the rest, just keep working around with it. It doesn't take very long to set it up. So this would be a pretty close setup. Maybe that's a little bit better. But so anyway, without spending too much time on this, I just want to show you that's how I set it up. And I use this for intraday, but I also use it while I'm each day I go in and I put all the support resistance levels in our Discord channel for all of the members to be able to use and access. And how I do that is I will go in and I start on the 1 hour chart as well, and I'll find pivots, okay? And then I will put in pivots where I think is going to be the most important, the ones that were hit the most. And you can see like right here, we're probably at 170.50. So I'll just look at it, and a lot of times I'll go to a whole number, or or half, 50 cent, and just to see how good. And this is actually pretty good. I think I did this once before, but so this would be a level that we would be looking for this stock in the next day to either break below or push above, probably into 173 is probably the number. Let's see where that is. Yeah, boom. So 173. So with a Breve incorporated, I would look for, this would be a support, so I usually color them green. Doesn't really matter, honestly. You kind of know when you're above or below a level. So what we would look for is during the day, this to either price to get above, maybe break above, retest, and then push up. And we would trade to 173 as our target. Or if it breaks below, we're definitely looking for it to come back to this lower, the long LRC minus 2 deviation. You can see how important that was several times. So most likely it will be again. And so I use this in a number of scenarios while I'm intraday trading, and I know that I'm hitting an outer level or the one and the minus 1 deviation. If there are a lot of stocks when you use this tool, you'll find that they don't even go to the outer 2. Sometimes they'll hit the 1.5, but they really respect the ones. You just have to play around with it and figure it out, and then it's up to you, of course, to remember that's part of what I do. When I do it, I try to memorize, like, okay, this stock, let's just say Abbrev, we know that it actually respects the second deviation and moves to it. So when you're trading during the day, you want to pay attention. And if you reject this line and you push down, you could trade to this. I would take all profit out right here because I'm looking for this thing to hit it and push right back up just like it did every single time here. And you can see it also respected this channel, which is the minus 1.5. So if you get all out here, or this is how I would trade it, if I get all out right there on that level, how I would typically do this is I would say we have price comes down, I get out, I just take all profit because I feel that this is a very formidable level and it's possibly going to reject, right? So what I do look for though, if I get out, and I did this today, and I'll show you an example where I did really well on a Tesla trade. I made it a little over 2,000 on one trade. I look for it to move past it, maybe come back up, maybe consolidate, and then push back down, almost like creating a little bit of a bear flag. And then as soon as you see a rejection down, I will re-enter, and then I'll trade it down to this level. If I see a rejection, I may trade it back up to here, or a lot of times I'm pretty much done with, I got the down and I don't really mess with getting the up a lot of times in that regard. So that's how I used the LRC, and I'll show you how I used it today and how it came in handy. It was incredible. So I'll show you SPY first. Sorry if my voice sounds off. I'm kind of got a scratchy throat, not a sore throat. Just went and played pickleball with my wife, so I'm kind of worn out. I need some water. So anyhow, okay, so check this out. This is SPY. This is what I was talking about. On the 1 hour, SPY respects the 1 deviations very strong. Now you could move this and tighten it up to where you actually get this one to hit here, but I was really keying in on these lower points today on SPY. And look at what was happening. This was pre-market. Let me turn my clouds on. Let me highlight those. Okay, here we go. This is what I showed this in my I put these charts in Discord, and this is extreme. I've just found that this is really important. So do this, pay attention to it. It will definitely help you. So I was watching how yesterday we had that big move down, right? And it stopped right on the mean, right on the mean. So I was looking at this during pre-market, and I told the guys that, hey, if we get a break below and a hold, I'm getting in. If we get a rejection of this line, I'm going the other way. So that's exactly what I did today. I didn't do it with SPY. I wish I had done, because I typically trade SPX, and I would have got this, and that would have been awesome. Although I had an awesome day. I had a 4,000 plus profit day today. So I did very well. Okay, I got a lot of levels on Tesla. Tesla's been all over the place, but just to ignore the levels for the most part and take a look at what we saw pre-market. This is what we were looking at pre-market right here. The this is the mean. It was almost it was really identical to what SPY was doing, other than this one Tesla got through it here. It broke through it, but then it came back up, retested, retested, retested. And I told the guys, I'm like, hey, if this gets down, if market goes down today, because we don't really have a bias, we just we trade what the market gives us. If it goes down, I told them I'm getting in, and I was getting in on a breakout move, and I told them that I would get out if it failed, and if it pushed, and if it pushed up, I was going to get in for a push up. Well, it did fake me out. I did lose. I lost $580 on my first trade because I went in pretty heavy. I was really expecting this to blast and go down because it dropped through it so hard. So it faked me out, but that's okay. That's part of trading. And then, so let me show you how oops. Oh, there we go. I'm going to go to my linear regression 2-minute. This is the chart I trade. Man, I wish I had got in SPX. Oh boy. Tesla went pretty hardcore though. Check this out. So starting out, you have to realize that this is what we're watching, right? We're watching this, and as soon as market opened, I got this candle that pushed right down through my long LRC. It went down just literally right on it. Then I got the next candle down. I got in right there. It went down. I was actually up like $400 on the trade right here, and I held it because I was like, man, I like this. I think I'm going to get continuation. This wick, this push down, the way it closed, I was like, okay, I'm going to hold this, and I held it, and I got this, and I ended up I added right here when this started pushing down. So I was already in it heavy. I added, it went down, it pushed up. I tried to get out as quick as I could, and I lost $580 on my very first trade. But then what's really awesome about this strategy is it went through my 20, went up, tested the 200, and then as soon as it went through again, I entered right there. I got in as soon as it moved through the 200 on the second move, and I got in heavy. I traded. I scaled out here. I let the rest run. I got all out. I got all out on this candle here when it pushed down. I told the group I am going to wait and see if there's a pullback because this was such a strong move. I expected a pullback, and I was like, if I get a candle and then another green candle, I'm getting back in, and that's exactly what I did. And so I made, let me get off my screen. I made my first trade. Oh, no, you know what? I stayed in this one. I actually entered this a couple times, so it's kind of cool. So I entered, got back in here, and I ended up I scaled out here, scaled out here, or got all out. I added back in with the same option, and it went up to here, came down to here, and I got all out, and I made $2,042. So then I also told the guys, hey, I'm looking for another pullback to the 20, and I'll get back in. So I got this pullback, and I got in on this candle, and I was in profit. I scaled a little bit off on this push and this pullback, but I waited, and I was getting I was down. I can't remember how much I was down. I think I was down like 700 or something at this point because I got in pretty heavy. But I was trusting my 20 EMA, and I was like, if it comes down and wicks up, I'm adding, and that's exactly what I did. I added a touch more. I went up, it consolidated. I think I scaled out a couple times in here. It went up and I got all out on this was a long LRC level and I got all out for another $1,408. So from from here to here I made another 1,408. So excellent day trading. There was no real reason for me to get out other than I just didn't want to get, yeah, I don't know if, if you're used to trading Tesla, Tesla can sometimes give you these moves right away and then just drop. So I didn't want to get caught in that. I took profit. I waited. I added. I took all out. I waited. I added. I re-entered, came down, added, and got all out right on my long LRC. Of course, I could have made even more, but that's okay. And I could have held it all day, but you're not going to make much more. This was your peak, so I actually did pretty good. I got all out right here, so I'll take it. That was a great day trading Tesla. Moving over to TSM. Oops, TSM. Same thing, right, guys? I literally got in on TSM right after I got in on Tesla, so I had both running at the same time. So I was trying to manage both of them. I got in on this candle, this little doji candle. So I got the close. I saw this set up. I got in. I called it out to the group. Hey, I'm getting in calls in TSM. I got in. I held. I scaled out at the 185 because, oh, actually, I take that back. I got all out. I took everything off the table. I think at that point I was up like $500. But then I got this pullback, I got this wick up, and then I went ahead. I went above this high. I waited for the to clear the high. I don't usually do that, but on this one I did. I just didn't want to get faked out, so I got back in right here, and I rode it up to this big red candle, and I took it all off right there like a goofball. I would have made another probably 1,000, so I probably would have had 2,000 trades today, but this was coming down so hard. I was like, nope. I was happy with the 1,200, around 1,200. I was actually up like 17, I think, right here, or 16, and I ended up getting out down here. So anyway, I ended up with $1,269. I wish I had held it a little bit more or scaled out a lot more right here on this and then just held a couple more, but that's okay. And I did a quick very end of the day, saw a great little easy setup for that's one thing that's amazing with this system. Um, oh, and I did lose a meta $11 because I was trying to get in SPX and somehow or another when I was deleting some of my unused things over here, I was still clicked on meta in my flex grid and I bought meta instead of buying SPX. So I realized I'm like, why is it not moving? I should be getting profit. What's going on? And I'm like, it's going down. What's up? And I'm like, oh crud, I'm in meta puts. So I got out of that real quick and had a minus 11. So yeah, made a bozo move. Um, so I did get into SPX, and I'll show you that with SPY. SPY is just extremely easy trading the LRC. Um, And also, when you have SPY moving, all you have to do is wait for, decent pullbacks to the 20 EMA on a 2 minute and just hop back in. And I think I literally made oh yeah, I think it was like right here. I made the 100 and I just got out. I wasn't planning on, I just scalped to make a little extra money. I wasn't really trying to make a lot. I could have made a bunch. I didn't stay in. Um, Me and my wife were going paddleboarding, so actually, it was earlier than this. It wasn't right here. That would have been great. It was actually right here because we left around like 11:40, 11:50. So I got a quick scalp. I got it right here off of the 20 EMA. It pushed up. I bought this one here. It kind of floundered back and forth. It went up, and I just put a sell ask at $100, and it went up and got it, and that was it. And that was all. So it was a very, very clean day. Hey, Arnaldo, how you doing? Do I draw it with extended hours? The long LRC. Um, do I draw it with extended hours? Yeah, oh, you mean with yes. So let me, well, this is SPY right here. So let me go to my, I definitely have extended hours on, and I have um I usually do I make sure I show the cloud so I know what the actual pre-market and post-market times are. So when I go in, I do it clean because I don't know, that just bugs me, but I do pay attention of I'll pull up my clouded, and I will put, because you want to see what's happening. And if you notice what happened today, it was amazing, man. Look, check this out. You could just see, didn't know if this was going to be a bear flag or a bull flag, which from, I think, being in the group before and trading alongside us. I try not to ever be biased. Sometimes I am, and I usually I usually take a loss when I'm biased. So I just wanted to see, I wanted to see what happened off of this level. At this point, oh, that's actually NQ. So that shows you how good NQ was today as well. Q's, NQ, uh, it's fantastic. I'd never realized how good this is, but it has now became a part of my anchored LRC strategy. I draw them in on every night. I'll go back in the next day, double check, see if anything is cleared. I don't know if you've ever done this before, but it's a really cool tool or option that so say you have this drawn in, right? And you want to know if, say, price is here and you want to see if price comes back down to it and crosses. You can right click this, and they have this option now. I don't know how long they've had it. They didn't used to have it, but you can create an alert with a drawing, and then you just click that, and you have three selections: crosses below, crosses above, or crosses. And in this case, I will put crosses below, and I created my own sound alert that says long LRC, and then you just hit create, and it puts the line right on your long LRC line. So you'll get an alert, which I did today. You get alerts telling you long LRC is crossed. You just look at what stock it is and go right to it. So it's actually really cool. It helps, keep me from having to, break my neck looking all over at the charts constantly. But yeah, this is pretty incredible. I've used it now for a few days, and the last couple of days I've done extremely well. And a big part of it, the anchored LRC is the main reason, but my taking profits and knowing when to get out have been just crazy good. I've actually helped a couple guys in the group when they were trading. They didn't have these on their chart, and I was like, hey, be careful, your price. They'd already got like 90%. And I was like, hey, your price is literally right at a long LRC. I was like, it's up to you, but if it were me, I would take profit, see if it gets above it, or if it's gonna. And he ended up taking all profit, like almost when it touched it. He didn't know that, on his chart, but when I told him that, he took profit. Um, and kid you not, it literally just shot straight down off of it the next candle. So absolutely. And now it doesn't always do that. A lot of times you'll consolidate, especially around the mean. If you notice the mean, it tends to come up to it and consolidate and then either go one way or the other. You don't really know. Typically, you would think, other real important thing with the long LRC that I found is if you're in an up trend, right? Say you're angled up, your bounces from the tops aren't typically as good. You'll get sideways movement. So here, let me get to one that actually shows it touching more. I think maybe Tesla did. Uh, yeah, okay, this is a great example. So Tesla's in an up move right now, right? So when it hits here, look, it doesn't like it does come down, and you could trade the downside, but it's a very weak. It's like slow. And so it helps you to know, hey, when you get a bounce, This one probably should be moved some. But when you get a bounce off of, yeah, I think I didn't readjust this. Let me readjust this thing. Oh, maybe that was it. But when you get a bounce off of the bottom, a one or a two or a 1.5, and you're in an uptrend, that's when you typically get these big moves like this. Um, if you get a bounce off the top and you're in an up move like this, now this one was huge. So, you know, not always, right? But a lot of times what you're going to get is you'll get a sideways movement. This one may not be the best example. You'll get like this consolidation sideways. It'll move down, but it's like a long pullback, and then it'll get to either this level or pull back down to this level, and then bam, then it goes. So it's actually pretty incredible how accurate it is. Let me see how TSM. So TSM probably is using a 0.5 deviation. If you look at this, there's a lot of in between in the middle. I don't have that one drawn in, but you could try it out, put a 0.5 and see how many times it wicks off that as well. I didn't want to overwhelm it, and just get too much stuff on the screen, but you can see like good move up off the mean, sideways, 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 hits the mean, consolidates, boom, straight up. This was a decent move down, but you can see it kind of consolidates. Then once it drops through the mean, pretty good drop. Not a bad up, but right here, your second pivot, boom. So anyway, it's just something to maybe pay attention to, maybe use if you want to. I'm gonna continue using it. It's helping me. It's given me really good levels, and I think that's what it's all about. Just making sure that you know when to take profit, know when to scale out. Because my biggest trading issue that I used to have is I would hold too long. I would end up with a loss. I would in the past I would get out too early and be like, man, but this gives me decent levels. I still have a problem holding for as long as I should, but that's okay as long as I'm profiting every day. Um, I am working on that to get better, which today was a fantastic day. Um, I'd like to do a 4,000 day every day. But anyhow, do you have any other questions? All right. Well, I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you did well today if you traded. And we hope to see you in the Discord. You can come in and hang out if you want. We have a free area in there that guys are just coming in, hanging out. Shoot me DMs, ask questions. I will help as much as I can. And my levels are available in the Discord as well. Oh, you're very welcome. Have a great weekend, and hopefully I'll see you on Monday. Take care.